Out of the mists of the North Sea, they came. Dragon-headed longships slicing through the icy waves, their crews fueled by a restless ambition. We know them as the Vikings, figures etched into history as savage raiders and brutal warriors. But that is only a fraction of their story. The horned helmets are a myth, but their impact is undeniable. They were not just warriors. They were explorers who charted unknown seas, traders who built a global network, and colonists who forged new worlds. This is the story of the Vikings, the raiders, traders, and explorers who left an indelible mark on history. To understand the Vikings, we must first look to their homeland, Scandinavia. A rugged, unforgiving landscape of jagged mountains, deep fjords, and dense forests. Life in what is now Norway, Denmark, and Sweden was a constant struggle against the elements. The short summers meant a frantic race to grow enough food, while the long, dark winters tested the limits of human endurance. This harsh environment forged a people who were resilient, resourceful, and fiercely independent. Communities were tight-knit, bound by loyalty and a shared struggle for survival. They were farmers, blacksmiths, and storytellers, but the sea was their highway, and it called to them with the promise of wealth, glory, and new lands. The key to their expansion, the very symbol of their age, was the longship. This was no mere boat. It was a masterpiece of naval engineering. Built from overlapping planks of oak, it's flexible. Clinker-built hull could bend with the waves, making it incredibly resilient in the open ocean. Yet, its shallow draft allowed it to navigate rivers deep into the heart of foreign lands, appearing as if from nowhere. Powered by a single large sail and a team of oarsmen, the longship was fast, agile, and capable of carrying warriors, traders, and their cargo across vast distances. They navigated not with compasses, but with an intimate knowledge of coastlines, the flight of birds, and the position of the sun and stars, possibly aided by mysterious sunstone crystals that could locate the sun even on a cloudy day. This vessel was the engine of the Viking Age, a testament to their ingenuity and their ambition to master the seas. In the year 793, the world changed. On the holy island of Lindisfarne, off the coast of England, a Viking raiding party descended upon a peaceful monastery. The attack was swift, brutal, and shocking. It sent a wave of terror across Christian Europe and marked the beginning of an era of coastal raids. For the next 2 centuries, Viking fleets targeted the wealthy, undefended monasteries and towns of Britain, France, and beyond. Their tactics were based on speed and surprise. They would strike hard and fast, seize whatever valuables they could find, gold, silver, and people-land vanished before a defense could be mounted. They were not a mindless horde, but disciplined warriors who understood the power of psychological warfare. The dragon prows of their ships became a symbol of impending doom, the terror of the Northmen. But the Vikings were far more than just pirates. They were savvy merchants and astute diplomats, masters of a trade network that stretched across the known world. While some sailed west to raid, others sailed east and south to trade. Following the great rivers of Eastern Europe, they established trading posts and connected Scandinavia to the richest empires on Earth. In their ships, they carried furs from the northern forests, amber from the Baltic shores, and walrus ivory from the Arctic. They traded these goods for silver from the Arab caliphates, silk from Constantinople, and spices from the Far East. Norse merchants reached Baghdad and the borders of the Silk Road, their influence felt from the Caspian Sea to the Mediterranean. They were a vital link in a global economy, connecting disparate cultures and economies through their relentless pursuit of commerce. Their restless spirit didn't just lead them to raid and trade, it drove them to explore and settle. The Vikings were pioneers, pushing the boundaries of the known world. In the 9th century, they braved the treacherous North Atlantic to settle the uninhabited island of Iceland, creating a new society with a unique system of law and governance. From Iceland, the legendary Eric the Red, exiled for manslaughter, led a group of settlers even further west to a vast, icy land he shrewdly named Greenland, hoping to attract more colonists. But the journey didn't end there. Around the year 1000, Eric's son, Leif Erikson, sailed even further, landing in a place he called Vinlanda, land of wild grapes and timber. He and his crew had reached North America, becoming the first Europeans to set foot in the New World, nearly 500 years before Columbus. Their small settlement didn't last, but it stands as a testament to their incredible courage and navigational skill. The Viking worldview was shaped by a powerful and dramatic mythology. They worshipped a pantheon of gods who were as flawed and fierce as the world they inhabited. There was Odin, the Allfather, who sacrificed an eye for wisdom and hung from the world tree to learn the secrets of the runes. There was Thor, the mighty thunder god, with his hammer Mjolnir, defender of both gods and mortals against the giants. And Freya, the goddess of love, beauty, and war. For a warrior, the ultimate honor was to die bravely in battle and be chosen by the Valkyries to feast in Odin's great hall, Valhalla, until the final battle of Ragnarok. These beliefs weren't just stories, they were a code of conduct, inspiring courage, a thirst for glory, and a stoic acceptance of fate in a dangerous world. Beyond the myths and the battles, what was daily life actually like for the Vikings? Most were not full-time warriors, but farmers living on scattered farmsteads. They grew barley, oats, and vegetables, and raised cattle, sheep, and pigs. Life was governed by the seasons and a deep connection to the land. They were also skilled artisans. Blacksmiths forged not only swords and axes, but also the essential tools of daily life. Woodworkers carved intricate designs on everything from ships to household items. While women wove cloth and managed the farm and family, often wielding considerable authority. Their society was governed by laws, discussed and upheld at local assemblies called things where free men could speak their minds and settle disputes. And in the long, dark winters, they gathered around the fire to listen to scouts the poets, who recited epic tales of gods, heroes, and voyages, keeping their history and culture alive. All ages must end, and the Viking Age was no exception. By the 11th century, the world was changing. The widespread conversion to Christianity brought new ethics and allegiances, integrating Scandinavia into the broader European culture. Powerful, centralized kingdoms began to form in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, replacing the old system of chieftains and jarls. These new kings had the power to levy taxes and raise national armies, making freelance raiding less profitable and more dangerous. Trade routes shifted, and the old Viking economic model became obsolete. The era of the freelance adventurer, the raider-explorer, was drawing to a close. The Viking Age didn't end in a single battle, but faded as its people and their leaders adapted to a new European order. Though their longships no longer sailed the seas, the legacy of the Vikings is all around us. They were unparalleled navigators who expanded the map of the world. Their legal concepts, centered on the rights of free individuals, influenced the development of law in places like England. The English language itself is filled with their words, from sky and window to husband and law. Their genetic footprint can be traced across Europe and beyond. They left their mark not just as destroyers, but as founders of cities like Dublin and creators of states. The Vikings were a transformative force in world history, a people whose legacy of exploration, trade, and cultural exchange is far more complex and enduring than their fearsome reputation suggests. They changed the world far beyond the raids. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, be sure to share, like, and subscribe to Digital Time Vault for more history in motion. Thanks for watching.